Let me say this straight up and down. I think Kyrie Irving should retire. I think he should announce his retirement today. Brown, it's not so much that he's underrated. It's that he's just not liked because of his, quote, I am better than you attitude. He knows it. It's the same reason he is not as marketable as he should be.
What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. Want to talk a little bit more about this Stephen A. Alexis Ohanian situation where I kind of want to show those clips at the beginning because I'm going to use that to make a larger point as far as Stephen A. Smith and sometimes him going all in on somebody like Jason Whitlock, going all in on Kyrie Irving at a point in his career where, it was really in danger. If the Dallas Mavericks didn't take that chance on Kyrie Irving, are we talking about him the way we were talking about Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf back in the day where he still had a ton of game, but he was just kind of blackballed out the NBA? Or, Jaylen Brown saying he isn't as marketable, coming off of not making the USA team and all that. And Jaylen Brown, what he talks about is building out a science guy and all that type of stuff, being too smart. And what does that even mean, right? Being too smart, being aware is frowned upon, apparently, or they use someone that looks like us to try to minimize that attribute, try to make an attribute look like a hindrance. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into what Alexis said, because Stephen A. has responded to that after the backlash. Let's check it out.
Well, also too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
well, you know what? Listen, I didn't. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I was hoping you were going to be here. I am not qualified. Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, see.
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So I generally try to stay in my lane as advice department.
Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I've been 13 years strong. We got
you.
Alexis, thank you so much. Athlos NYC 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Appreciate you. Serena Williams. She is married to billionaire Alexis Ohanian. And he came on First Take today to promote some new event that he's got going on with Athlos and all of that. And, people are talking about how he came at me, and took a sly dig, because of what I said and, when Serena Williams was on stage performing at the Super Bowl. I've never met this man. I wish I was in studio today, but I'm not. I have a speaking engagement, so I'm out of town. That's why I was not there today. It would have been nice to meet him. I don't know the man. I have nothing against him whatsoever. I don't recall saying a negative word about him. It's just that when Super Bowl Sunday took place, when Kendrick Lamar was performing, Serena Williams came on stage, dancing to all of that. And according to the reports and stuff like that, she's the ex of Drake. Essentially, what I said was, why that energy for an ex? If, that was my wife, I don't want to see that. And so because of that, that's what he was alluding to. I'm glad that it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have 2 wonderful children together. And I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me. Because that's her husband, and I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all. I was just saying that men, knowing us as men, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? That's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine. But he was sitting there saying, you wasn't married, right? So you giving marital advice. That's how he framed it. And he says, I give advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married, so who am I to say something like that? I'm saying, paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it, and if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said, maybe in a more respectable manner than my initial reaction after Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him. That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently he didn't like what I said.
Now, I take exception with what Stephen A. Smith said because the dude was trying to sun him. He was kept saying, like, you ain't never been married. How you gonna try to tell me? All I did was help billionaires. I lend my advice to stuff I know about as far as making billionaires. And again, that reeks of him being tight with the people upstairs at ESPN and Stephen A. feeling like challenging him, going at him the wrong way is above his pay grade. I feel like, I think that's all that is. I think the bosses look at him a certain way, and Stephen A. didn't want to cross that line. I think had it been Kyrie Irving or somebody else on that monitor that took exception with him, he tried to say, nobody running from y'all. Nobody running from y'all. Like he always does. So that's my issue with it. If you're gonna afford him that, and let him hide behind the guise of taking up for his wife, which, obviously he did. But if you're going to give him that grace, then you have to give LeBron James that grace. Whether I feel like he is mad at you for having Jordan the GOAT. I do think he has a little bit of a problem with that. But, you know, the way you just gave old boy that grace, you're gonna have to just chalk it up to LeBron taking up for his son. You gonna have to do that because I mean this dude tried to son you. LeBron came up to your face in public and did it, and went to your network and went on the popular guy who who built this platform streaming that licenses his content out to ESPN, to make a point. But um this guy came directly on your show and tried to sun you on your own show. And he said he was hoping you was in the studio so he could say it to your face. So it was nothing about that was friendly. He didn't care how you took it. Now I know you got your political stuff going on and all that, so I think using that as playing a part into it too. But I want to see how you treat athletes going forward. How you speak about somebody like Jalen Brown. How you speak about somebody like Kyrie Irving. Not them specifically. They're probably past those incidents that were hot at the time. But the next person or athlete that has something to say about you. I know KD will say something about you again. So I want to see how you jump out the window with them because I remember KD gave you an exclusive interview on First Take. I remember Kyrie Irving came up there after he left Cleveland. He came on your show and he gave you the interview when you asked him, did you tell LeBron? He's like, why would I have to? That interview, that's the one I'm talking about. People have given you exclusivity that made your show be number one, in different times. Obviously, y'all put in the work every day, ain't trying to take nothing away from it, but these guys feel betrayed because they give you these type of interviews and things like that, and then you go on air when they may be going through a moment where the media's dragging them through the ringer, and they don't expect it from you. Because look, I came up there, I gave Stephen A. the exclusive interview. So that's my problem with it, man. That's my problem with it. You talk about certain people, and then Dana White, Alexis Ohanian, people like that. You don't have as much to say. You have a reserved tongue. So don't try to come off as a real one that's gonna say what's up on his mind. I ain't running. I ain't hiding from nobody. Don't come with that energy if there is a limit that you'll go to when somebody disrespects you. Not trying to openly disrespect people for no reason, but this man disrespected you in your face, and he didn't care how you took it. And you know, he said what he said. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.
Tomorrow's never promised, too much chaos and carnage. Heart subject to experience stoppage. Hope is the closest to hell you get. Many different reasons, never know the moment you stop breathing. Spring comes, but we all have our fall seasons. Kings, peasants, thugs, bourgeoisie, heathens. Men from every region, guns, legions. Various diseases, liars, backbiters, and preachers. Realize one day you gotta give up the ghost. Whether natural causes or somebody play me close, you already